On November 14th, the entire nation of South Korea froze as roughly 600,000 students took the College Scholastic Ability Test, also known as the Suneung. Established in 1993, the test acts as a unified entrance exam to get into universities within the country and can only be taken once per year. However, because the examination plays such a large role in the college admissions process, for many Koreans, they dedicate their entire life in preparing for this test. On this test, one section specifically causes a huge amount of stress, the English section. A section dedicated to Korean students' understanding of complex English concepts. For many students, it can single-handedly ruin their chances at getting into a top-tier school. Today, we are going to see how difficult this section is and overall how big of a role the Suneung plays in Korean society.
I attend George Mason University, Korea, and I am majoring in accounting, and I am a junior right now, first semester junior.
I'm a student at George Mason, Korea at the Incheon Global Campus. I'm a sophomore and my major is conflict analysis and resolution.
I go to George Mason University. I'm a sophomore in my first semester and I am majoring in accounting.
Have you ever taken American SAT?
Yes, I took it 6 times. Yeah.
Can I ask your score?
I got, my highest was a 1320, I believe, which isn't
1320.
yeah.
What is out of
1600.
How long and how many hours did you study for SAT?
I actually went to SAT Hagwon during my entire summer of my sophomore year. So, and I studied an additional, few months to take these. So probably many hours. Many hours.
Yes, I have.
Can I ask your score?
My score, I don't remember it because it was so long ago, but I do remember it was before they changed I know that they updated the scoring, so I don't think my score would be relevant right now.
How long and how many hours did you study for SAT?
I honestly didn't study that well. That's why I had to retake it. And the first time I got a better score, so I retook it for no reason because I did poorly on the second try.
Okay.
So between this summer going into my senior year, I took the SAT once so that I could get into college.
What score did you get it?
When I took my SAT, I got a 1370 out of 1600, which is a good score. It's not super amazing, but it's respectable. And then specifically on the English section, I got a 720 out of 800.
And how long and how many hours did you have to study for SAT?
I did a little bit of generalized studying, but not specifically for the math section, which is probably why I did worse on it. But overall, maybe 4 hours the week that I was taking the exam.
So from now on, we're going to take Korean College Scholastic Ability Test, the English part. There are actually 45 questions, including 17 listening questions, but for today, I only prepared for 5 questions.
Okay.
Now we'll give you 10 minutes to finish it, so when I say start, you can turn over your paper and start solving the questions. So how many questions do you think you can get right?
Hopefully at least 3, but if I score higher, cool. But I know this test is supposed to be really difficult, so we'll see.
1.
1?
1 if that.
Okay. So
Probably a 1, honestly. I'm so bad at SAT, ACT.
okay, so are you ready?
As much as I'm gonna be.
Okay, so let's start. If you're ready, let's start.
Okay.
This is similar to the English SAT, except it's so much longer.
It's no answer looks correct. I don't know.
Yes.
So
What? What? What do you mean?
Guys, let's use this part.
You guys. I feel you. Okay.
This is like an actual difficult college level reading. This would be so difficult if I had to do it in any language that wasn't my own. Like, this is difficult, and I've been using English for 19 years. You have 5 minutes left. How are you feeling?
I don't know. I feel like I felt more confident at the actual SAT than I am for this, and this is only like a for a video. Like,
So far, how does the language compare to the language on the American SAT?
This is harder, I think. I don't know. Because, like, the American SAT was more straightforward, you know? Like, I'm trying to think which one I did worst on. I think math was the worst one I did on the American SAT. But, like, this one is just stupid. Like,
as a person who took the SAT reading portion like 1,000 times, I can say this is definitely harder and more confusing. I feel like I've always felt this way, but the way the Korean education tests students' English abilities is very different from the American. And so this is just my personal opinion, but I wish they would change that, because a lot of the English that comes out in these tests are English that you would never use in real life, whereas the American SAT, they try to put in words that you would use in, you know, the real life.
So for the language specifically, is this language above on level or below college level readings in an American university?
This is probably either the same or above. It's definitely not under. Yeah.
I'm used to this type of question, but it'd be so weird if you weren't used to like the American standard of test taking. Oh, and this one is actually just in Korean.
you done?
Okay. It was like about 8 minutes.
I'm not sure.
You're done?
I'm done.
Okay, that was about 8 minutes.
Okay.
And 40 seconds. Done?
I think so.
Okay, so that was like about 8 minutes and 20 seconds.
Okay.
So how many did you
I got
get?
3 out of 5.
3 out of
Yep.
5. Okay. So how was it?
Once again, like I said, this is not an easy test. And this is my first time actually reading an actual... This is the actual? Was this an actual thing?
It
Wow.
was taken like 10 days ago.
Oh, this was the one this year?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Yeah. As, you know, as a native speaker, I don't think if I'm struggling this much, you know, it's not as easy for those whose English isn't their first language. Yeah, wow. I commend those Korean students who took the Korean SAT, but yes. Good luck.
Way. Yo, I got one wrong.
Wait, you got one wrong?
Yeah,
So you
one
got
wrong.
4 out of 5?
Yes.
Okay. So, how was it?
It was like better than expected, I guess, but like it was still kind of weird test because I just felt like no answer stood out that was correct. I don't know. Very different from American SAT.
So,
I got 3 of them right. Got it.
you got 3 of them right? Okay. So, you are an English native speaker and you got 3 out of 5. So, how was it?
This was... Maybe it's because I haven't taken the English SAT and so on, but this felt difficult. There was, in many ways, it felt a lot longer and it felt more difficult to focus on it because typically the SAT, especially our English section, will have one long passage and then we'll have about 5 to 10 questions on only that section. But this was all a long section and then only one question about it. So it was very much you had to focus on one thing and then go to the next and the next. And that can be really difficult, especially when this language that you're being tested on isn't your own.
As an English native speaker, do you think this test really evaluate your English ability?
No, I don't think so. Because, like, I don't know. I just feel like there's better ways to test on English, like, speaking. I just felt like I was taking a chance, honestly. So, yeah. I don't think it helps with, like, English speaking.
자기소개 한번 해주세요. 지금 다니시는 대학, 학년, 그리고 전공.
네, 저는 한국 조지메이슨 대학교에 재학 중이고요. 2학년 2학기 경제학과를 전공하고 있습니다.
본인이 그러면은 모국어가 한국어이신가요?
네.
혹시 수능 보신 적 있으세요?
네, 2년 전에 봤어요.
그때 혹시 잘 보셨나요? 점수가 대략 어떻죠?
몇 등급이지? 3, 4등급 정도 됐던 것 같아요.
그러면은 저희가 이제 수능 보셨다고 하니까 되게 오랜만에 보는 거잖아요. 그래서
네.
이거 지금 올해 수능 5문제를 저희가 준비를 했거든요. 수능 보셔서 알겠지만 상당히 어렵잖아요. 그래서 저희가 5문제를 10분 안에 푸는 거를 준비를 해왔어요.
네.
혹시 몇 개 맞으실 것 같아요?
2개?
2개요? 많이 오래되셨네요. 괜찮아요. 그러면은 준비되시면은
네.
시작해주시면 돼요.
준비됐어요?
네, 시작해주세요. 원래 시간 10분만 드려야 되는데
네.
총 12분.
정말요? 좀 어려웠어요.
42번에 4번. 앞에다가 점수 써주세요.
하나 틀렸네.
하나 드렸어요. 다 틀리면 편집해주시고. 어떠셨어요?
생각보다 어려웠어요.
2년 7개월 정도 전에 보셨다고 했잖아요.
네.
그때랑 비교했을 때 난이도가 어떤 거 같나요?
사실 난이도는 크게 차이가 없을 수도 있는데 그 고등학교 때 수능 특강이나 수능 완성 이런 거에서 나오거든요. 비슷한 주제와 그런 비슷한 내용으로. 그래서 그런 것들을 보지 않은 상태로 봐서 더 어렵다고 느낀 것 같아요.
수능은 총 한 번 보신 거예요?
네.
그러면은 수능 공부를 할 때 혹시 하루에 몇 시간 정도 평균적으로 공부하셨나요?
1시간에서 2시간?
So how do you think about this test? Does it really decide your fate? Would getting a high score means the success of your entire life? Thanks for watching, please subscribe and don't forget to stay curious for our next video.